The following message is being transmitted at the request of the Boundless PodTrap movie review and the guys of the BPT. What you are about to hear contains spoilers to movies. If you don't want to hear these spoilers, please disengage your listening device at this time. If you can't handle those with a possible differing view on a movie, you may also want to disengage your listening device at this time. Stay tuned for a movie review that only the guys at the Boundless PodTrap can give you.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Spooky, spooky.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Sound like you're plugging your nose.
I know, right? What the fuck was that?
That is as black as Jeremy can get.
Well, you got to put a little bit more bass in it. What's
happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? What's
That didn't. You lost your bass when you started saying it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's happening?
What's
See,
happening?
I
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening, ladies?
What up, my?
Okay, well, nobody's listening anymore. So,
Now that we got it out all the way.
welcome to the BPT movie review.
BPT?
We got Lonnie back in the studio.
Hello.
Welcome.
I know you guys missed me.
Smells like
Benvenuti.
COVID in here,
Smells like COVID.
Yeah.
and it's weird to see
my ass.
sunlight through the window of the office here.
I know, right?
They popped a hole in the studio, so now we got a little bit more.
Studio has
Yeah.
changed. It's not the studio I fell in love with. It's grown up and it's changed and
Also kind
started
of
hanging out with the wrong crowd. And
cramped down.
always on TikTok.
TikTok.
So
TikTok?
yeah,
TikTok
this
Anonymous?
is going to be an interesting. Are you guys like really?
I am very interested.
interested in hearing this.
Excited about this episode.
We are. You were so against this.
Oh.
Speaking of against this, I went and saw Scream 6 this week.
Yeah,
And it was
well,
awesome.
You
You
also
could
went
have
to
probably
see.
saw the first one and it would have been the same thing.
So disappointed. that-
Actually, not even close to the same
Spoiler
thing.
alert, everyone who hasn't seen Scream 6, it wasn't fucking Stu again.
It wasn't going to be Stu
It's gonna
because
be
Nev Campbell's
Stu.
not in this one.
Who
so
gives
why?
a shit about Nev Campbell?
That's the whole reason for the story.
Guys.
It
was her
A
mother.
lot of peeking happened there. Justin's like frazzled looking at the board.
Look, and I deep dived in this because I didn't realize that was catching fire until I looked. I sent you that guy's video.
You did. You didn't even know it was a thing until I told you it was a
Well,
thing.
I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know it caught as
How
much
much
fire
of a
as
thing
it
it was,
did,
yeah.
and now it's like way overdone.
Let's stop talking about this shitty movie and talk about another shitty movie.
No, here's the thing: Scream 6 is awesome. Anyway, he's
He's going to flip flop.
So here we
the
go.
best slashers of all time.
What are we reviewing on BPTMR 029?
Tonight, whenever it is you're listening, we are going to be reviewing 2017's It, which
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1, yes. So let me preface this before we start getting into our reviews and points system that we do. So this is an interesting one because I claimed I would never, ever, ever watch this movie because I didn't think that it needed to be remade. I thought the original was good. Pennywise is great. I saw the trailers for this one. Pennywise looked like stupid in this remake. I thought there was too much CGI from the trailers and clips I saw of it, and I didn't need to be remade. Tim Curry was Pennywise to me.
This goes back to, I think, the very first episode you and I did, because I think it was the first one. It might have been the second one where we actually watched the trailer and gave our reviews on the trailer before it actually came out. So this is kind of a crazy...
I surprised them all last movie review podcast by picking this for my movie because people say I need to change and not be the party pooper and give things a chance. So I did.
And he was disappointed.
So before we get into that, let me read you a synopsis of this movie. This is not the IMDb synopsis because theirs is stupid. So here we go. 7 young outcasts in Derry, Maine are about to face their worst nightmare. An ancient, shape-shifting evil that emerges from the sewer every 27 years to prey on the town's children. Banding together over the course of one horrifying summer, the friends must overcome their own personal fears to battle the murderous, bloodthirsty clown known as Pennywise.
So I'm going to call something right off the top right there. Pennywise doesn't only prey on the children, he preys on
The city.
really anybody.
All right.
Strike one!
He preys like directly, primarily on the children, and then indirectly on he has
We
a
can
little
get
bit of
into
control.
that.
So yeah.
So we're going to go around the clock here. John was really anxious to start. So
Well, I wanted to
let's
start
with
us
him.
off positive and then go negative.
Okay.
So I wrote this down while I was rewatching the film last night. So it's fresh in my mind. I really enjoyed the film. It has everything I look for in a horror movie, which has suspense, gore, terrifying scenes, humor, and scares that hit close to my own fears. It has cheesiness, enjoyable characters, especially Richie. I really like Richie. I think it's generally a terrifying movie that takes it, and for me to say that, it takes a lot for me to get scared in a movie, but it made me the first time I saw this, especially because when I used to go see this with Billy, he used to like to go see horror movies in like the second fucking row of a theater.
Oh, Billy.
So the garage scene was like right on my fucking face, which was hot.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Anyway,
That's how I like my garage scenes to be.
I think the
on your
practical,
face.
I think the practical effects and the digital effects were good. I think the characters are fun and mostly relatable. Constant suspense throughout. I like the score as well. I have it as one of my top horror movies of all time, so I give it a 9.
A 9.
Justin.
Oh, we're going to go alphabetical? Okay.
Looking at the ceiling, looking at the ceiling.
Stop.
Well, technically, Jeremy would have been first.
Yeah, but he...
There's a lot of J's in this room. Lonnie, change your
Give it
name
away, give it
to
away.
Johnny. Wait, no, that won't work.
All right. Obviously, I think it was an awesome watch. I do kind of, like I said, I give my respects to what Tim Curry did. Even Tim Curry gave his respects to this film.
That man's out of his mind.
Because of that, it's like, oh, no, he said this was good. I know he's gone. He's lost it. But yeah, even Tim Curry, even Stephen King thought this is probably one of the best film adaptions of his own projects and stuff. And I cannot disagree with that. I think this was an amazing piece. It had a lot of diversity in all of the characters. Every single character had their own struggles. It pulled from pretty much everything that a child can maybe experience at one point or another, or at one extreme, I should say. But the filming of it, the look, the sound, everything echoing what John said, amazing. I give it a 9.5.
9.5. Wow. Jeremy, do you want to do yours?
No.
No?
You go first.
I'll go first. Okay. So about this movie, it had the highest grossing opening weekend of any horror movie of all time. So right there, that has to say something to the quality of this movie. Now, I absolutely love it, the novel. It was the first long form book I ever read. And it's in its true form, it's almost 2,000 pages. This movie kind of
1,100 or 1,138 pages.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. This movie takes more notes from the book than the miniseries did. The miniseries means more to me than this movie does. So, of course, I'm going to put my chips in the miniseries camp. But with this movie having more references to the book, it makes me like this movie more. That being said, that was about the only thing I enjoy about the remake.
I was going to say, this is going in a circle.
Yeah,
It could go either way at
this
this
is
point
about-
with Lonnie right
That's
now.
about the only thing I enjoy about the remake. It had its moments. It had some decent humor. But other than that, the rest of it fell fucking dog shit short to me. But yeah, all in all, I'd give this movie a 3.5.
Jesus.
Wow. Well,
I couldn't talk shit about it until you watched it, because then I'd be like, no, I'm never going to get him to watch it.
so I honestly really don't know what I'm going to say here at this point.
Neither do I.
I will say I did not read the novel. I've only seen the miniseries, and I loved it. I thought Pennywise, the look of Pennywise in the original was simplistic, but fucking scary. They didn't have to go over the top, making him look creepy with costume, makeup, anything. And I thought he portrayed it great. So we watched this movie now. And I'm going to just start off by saying I thought that this movie was going to have way more CGI than it did. Yes, it had its fair share of CGI, but I was actually shocked at the amount of practical effects that were in this movie. I thought the kid actors were all fantastic. They were very believable in what they were supposed to be doing. I thought the gore in it was done pretty well. It wasn't over the top.
Yeah, it was.
As it starts to, compared to other
What about the
movies I've
bathroom
watched,
scene?
I did like that there was a nod to the original Pennywise in this, in the one scene where he's in the room with all the clown statues and stuff. So I thought that was nice. I am sticking with the fact that I thought Pennywise looked and sounded like garbage. If I were to pick one bad thing about this movie, it would be Pennywise's look and his voice. I did not like him.
You don't
at all.
like it?
No. But to be honest with you, in watching this movie, it actually, not that I've lost, what's the word I'm looking for?
Feelings.
No.
Interest.
I'm like Justin here. I
Respect.
don't know words right now.
Apprehension.
Look through the sky. The clouds.
I know.
IQ.
Shut the fuck up so I can think. Passion. I guess I haven't lost passion for filmmaking, but watching this, something about this just, I don't know. It got me excited about being a filmmaker and wanting to film again and stuff. And just all in all, I was actually pleasantly surprised with how this movie all in all made me feel. It would have been ranked higher if Pennywise was actually good, but I'm going to give this movie a 7.
Wow.
All right, now that he gave his rating, I can actually give my real rating now.
Oh, go for it.
Because I thought he was going to shit on it. Yeah.
Oh, this is weird.
No,
How do I let me undo yours then?
No, I just wanted to give him to give a real rating. No, this movie is pretty good. I'd give it a 7.5.
There you go.
I'm about to say, we've had a conversation.
Yeah, I know.
You gave it a 3.
I was like,
but I kind of had a feeling you were trying to bait him.
I mean, I would if you gave it a 10, I would have gave the same review that I gave.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't know because you guys gave it such high ratings. I'm like, I don't want him to be baited into giving it either a higher or lower rating on purpose.
Well, when you said 3.5, I'm like, he's bullshitting because Lonnie would not give it that. Because I know you've talked good about it before.
It has
You're not that good of an actor.
It has a lot of good stuff in it, but yet it does have a lot of stuff I don't like. But I don't know if the stuff I don't like is just because I loved
the novel.
what happened in the miniseries. But the stuff they touched in, like they brought in because of the novel, was so chef's kiss.
Right.
And it's not so much in this one per se, but in chapter 2 is where a lot of that novel stuff.
Did you watch
mythology
chapter
and all
2
that.
yet?
No.
No.
Yeah.
God, one thing at a time.
I know. I was just wondering, like, some people, you enjoyed it, so maybe you wanted to watch this.
Yeah, but I've had people like at work that I was talking to about this because they were like, I want to know. I want to know. So I did tell a couple people at work. But they said with what I had said that there's like, I don't think you're going to like the second one because there's like,
fills it
the
out.
last one.
It fills it out well, I think.
Yeah.
I think it concludes
I still
it
prefer
nicely.
in both the miniseries and this one. If I prefer the kids.
I prefer.
stories.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
also,
Yeah.
I think the
He writes
chemistry
kids
of
better
the
anyways.
kids is better than,
Yeah.
despite the amazing actors that are in part 2 or chapter 2.
It's
I
just
think
a
the chemistry
weaker
is better.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Also that. Yeah.
But even with everybody's ratings, that gives us a BPT rating of 8.5.
Nice. By the way, just random question: whose movies have the highest?
It's usually Lonnie's.
No, it is. It's
Oh,
me.
I guess it's you,
idiot.
this ranks up there. It's pretty high on the list, I guess.
Let's see. The highest
Did you actually do the thing?
I
that
haven't.
you were
It's
gonna
gonna
do?
pick, it's gonna be a while. So the highest we got is One Cut of the Dead, The Evil Within, The Menu, Pulp Fiction, The Sadness, It, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Top 2 are this, my motherfucker.
Killzone. What's your other
I
one?
haven't got below an 8, so
Death to Smoochie, Nice Guys,
I
The
not only-
Terminal.
there you
I
go. There's
not
all
only
3 right
have
there.
the top 2, I have the bottom 2.
Nice. That's why we like you, Lonnie. You're just all over the place.
Wait, no, you didn't.
Like that review when you were talking, I was like, this could go any fucking way.
The bottom 2 is Begotten and Monsters,
Oh, I've one of the 2.
and Prey and Alpha Dog and Passion of Darkly Night.
And all of Justice.
It's because you guys don't have any taste, you know. That's
because
all.
I watch a movie, I don't want to have to look for signs and all that shit.
All right. Can I ask you guys a question when we get back on it real quick?
Yeah.
Is Richie too much or is he funny?
I liked him. I thought he sold the movie the very first time. I
I
saw
relate to that motherfucker so much. Every
I-
comment he made, like your mom.
Is that how you want to spend your summer? Inside of an arcade? If you're spending it inside of your mother,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
did. Is he the one that was on Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thimble fart.
Yeah.
I was
kid with the
putting a
glasses.
list together of who might be who.
I forgot
And,
you
like,
don't have your IMDb right now.
You were obviously Richie. I couldn't figure
Thank
out
you. I take that.
There's literally a
There's
Jew.
just one Jew, but I couldn't put you as him.
And you can't pick who I am.
You're not relatable to the Jew.
Fuck
Yeah.
yourself.
I do like Eddie, and I think that his older version looks fucking spot on.
Yeah.
When they cast the older version. The one that makes me laugh, though, I don't know if you know who the cast is for part 2 yet, but Ben, the fat kid, is like this ripped fucking
he changed.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is in the miniseries.
I know,
Well,
but
not
it's just, I don't know. It
To an
just
extent.
there was
Like he went from fat to like, well, I mean,
not fat.
You're, you could probably
he's like
walk
a
up
model
flight
in
of
It
stairs.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, all 5 of the kids were able to pick what actors they wanted to play, but only 2 of them got the parts. So Bill Hader was the original, or the one of the original parts suggested from one of the kids, and was it Chastain?
Jessica Chastain, yeah. But that's because, what's his name? Who's the director?
Bozewick.
Andy Milanakis or whatever his name is.
Manichetti.
He's
That would've
worked.
been a
He
much
worked with her.
different
Yeah, right.
One-
He worked with her in Mama, so I knew she was going to.
One thing that I thought was kind of not very believable in this movie is the character of Ben, the fat kid.
You don't like him?
Well, I liked him, but
He was real fat.
that kid,
That was real fat.
he
No
got
CG
like
on that kid at all.
his stomach
Nipples were
carved. He
inverted.
fell down
Yeah.
a hill. He got sliced by this like rusty pipe by Pennywise, and
This guy's guts is. This guy's hamburger helper coming out.
Look at this motherfucker! He's leaking hamburger helper!
but yet he just
Standing
walks
around
off like nothing.
I'm like, you would be
nothing wrong. I'm
tending
like,
to your
I
wounds.
know he
Yeah.
does. He might. I don't know.
That's
maybe
only
if
in, like,
you're
maybe
bullied
2
that
spots.
much, maybe.
Yeah.
He was tending to his, like when he was sitting over in the alleyway, whatever. Like he was looking like he was in pain when he fell into the creek with the great
I
water.
feel like Ben was a great actor, and then there were parts where he was like the worst actor in the movie.
Now I will also give. I got to find him on here.
I think all of the kids, I think Stan was a little soft at times,
Yeah.
but that's his character.
Yeah.
I don't think his character was really 100% fleshed out. Which,
I don't even think
I
like
don't
if he
think
was
it's
gone from this movie, I
intended to
wouldn't
be.
even notice.
well, I
Well,
think,
he kind of was, because if you actually looked
Honestly.
at some of the places, he was edited in, it looks like. He was behind green screen a lot towards the end of it.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If you looked at the back, it's like that he's not in that area.
Wow.
And then when they're throwing the rocks and stuff like that, that's when Lonnie doesn't like this movie anymore, because it goes past the hour 26 is around the rock scene.
Yeah. Too fucking long. Hour
There were a few parts that it makes this a little long, but
I will say the actor of Nicholas Hamilton who played Henry, the
yeah.
bully.
yeah.
I don't know that there's been
got
any.
fucked
I don't know that there's been any movie where within seconds I hated a character so much that he did so well being.
Is it
a
the mullet?
dickhead I don't know.
That
But
usually drives it. It
his
makes you want to
look,
hate it.
his eyes, his beady eyes, and just how he did a great job as
I
the
watch that
bully,
knock
and-
at the cabin. There's a guy I literally wanted to die the whole fucking time, and he doesn't. Spoiler.
But anyways, so Pennywise's look, when you and I first reviewed that, I didn't really care for it. But when I kind of looked around like the costume designer's direction where she wanted to go with it, it's like that actually kind of makes sense, because Pennywise is a very ancient character, a person, or
Being.
yeah,
Entity, yeah.
entity.
I guess costume wise, I didn't hate the look.
I didn't really care
I'm
for
there,
the plating.
makeup.
I'm the 100% opposite of you. I think the Tim Curry one is boring. It's not scary at all.
I think so
His
too.
look, and I think it's the opposite.
It took
with
me a while, but I
Skarsgård.
think I do prefer Skarsgård's, not just because it's Skarsgård, but
I think it's because his eye does that thing.
that too. He has
Yeah,
a
he
natural
has
thing.
such practical effects with his face.
Yes, yes.
He didn't want to steal anything from Tim Curry, because even he alone thought
Right.
that Tim Curry was awesome, and like he doesn't want to be distracting in that sense.
Right.
So he wanted to do something more original, and they worked so long. Like he was on set every single, like during the filming of this, him being there and not being used, and then like towards only halfway, like he was still working on the character, getting that laugh down, like him going to the audition, like in clown makeup, and he's like, I'm a professional actor.
See, I watched his audition tape for Pennywise, and I'm like, man, if I was a casting director, like, why? It had to have been just his eyes, because I thought he was it was fucking terrible, his audition for it.
Most auditions are. Haven't you seen any of mine?
Yeah, I was up close and personal when you were down.
We don't make you audition.
That's true. Me and you don't audition.
Well, I had to audition that first one.
That's a funny story. I don't remember it, but you probably do. And why would you lie about it?
Jeremy's just like sitting there with his arms over his knees, like watching me on the floor, like
Pretending like he's dying.
yeah.
But go ahead, Justin. Looks like you probably have like a
48
laundry
pages of
list
notes.
It's I don't have more than 100. We'll just
Real
say.
quick. So you were surprised at the lack of CGI that you, at least in your mind, you had it was going to be a lot more. I mean,
we
we tried to tell you that it wasn't
lot
as CGI as you thought it was going to be.
There was a lot.
There's a healthy amount of CGI.
No, for sure. And I feel like you have to, especially with like things changing.
It wasn't.
But, like,
It wasn't done as terribly as I thought it was going to be.
Well, you have to compare too. Of when the miniseries came out in 1990, it was made for us. Like, we were kids. We wanted to be scared. If they would have had the capability of making some of the effects that they wanted to use, like the shower scene where Pennywise comes up through the drain and opens it up, like that shitty effect, if they would have had the good CGI, it would have looked fantastic. Like some of the stuff they did and the effects they used would have been great. They just didn't have access to it. But they were more cerebral with the miniseries, which is what scared us. That's what we were used to. Nowadays, kids don't have the attention span or the imagination to be scared by things like that. So they need that visceral, in your face, constantly jumping monster with teeth, where we didn't.
That's true. The garage scene actually, like I said, did really scare me because I
That
was
was
in the second row. Like,
it
you know,
made
because
me
you think
jump.
it's gone and then all of a sudden he's like right there again. And you're like, fuck.
Not only that, but they hang on
Yes.
that.
And
You're
it
like,
like,
your expectations seem to simmer. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That did. I was watching it at Michael's place, and he's got pretty good surround sound, and that did make me jump too. I was like, holy fuck!
It takes a lot for me to jump, but that had me. And then it was like, after that, it was like a few seconds of just him being terrifying for a second. You know, I thought that this Pennywise did, or this version of it did more than the miniseries for me personally on being more terrifying to me. 'Cause, like I said, I don't find Tim Curry's It a scary looking individual. I think he just looks like Bozo the Clown to me.
Yeah. I think that's what they were going off of.
But a lot of people are
originally, so.
completely scared by Bozo the Clown. You know what I mean? So I'm not terrified of clowns in real life. I think the
original was they wanted as like close to a normal looking clown as possible.
No, and I get that.
And like, because it was just in the first one, like when his teeth show sharp for the first time, I think that in itself, just that little change freaked people out enough, because I think they also made his eyes a little more like blackened or whatever when his teeth showed. But yeah, I mean, to me, I will always pick the look of Tim Curry over Skarsgård's, which sucks because like working in Halloween retail, it's like since 2017, Tim Curry's Pennywise doesn't exist. You have your Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Michael Myers. You have all of them, Freddy Krueger, and they're the original looking ones. And then the Pennywise that they use is always the 2017. It's like, that annoys me because I actually thought that last night because I've been hanging some picture things around my house, and there's this metal tin picture that I got for my birthday that has all the horror villains on it. And of course the Pennywise on it is Stupid Bill Skarsgård. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna kind of get into this.
I forgot
a little
this
bit.
is his movie. No.
So we got the Losers Club. Yeah, the group
He
of
did
kids.
this to my movie too.
Yeah, sure.
It starts off with like the 5 and then ends up 6, 7 kids or so.
I like Mike.
Group of children who band together to fight it. They can be seen as modern versions of the archetypical hero's journey. They face various challenges and obstacles as they try to defeat it and save their town. So the creature of it, Pennywise, he's kind of known, or it can be compared to various other mythological creatures or entities such as demons, shapeshifters, and tricksters. And it comes out flatly says that it preys on the fear. The fear kind of makes the kids taste better, so he eats them. The idea of power of belief is also present in the story. So the Losers Club is able to overcome it by banding together and believing in each other, while it is weakened by their united front. So, excuse me, guys, because I just got Invisalign yesterday, so I might sound a little weird. Getting used to these trays in my mouth.
I want to hear it. I can take my whole entire top row out.
Have you guys ever watched the Oprah movie, The Wrinkle in Time?
No. I think Oprah is a terrible actress.
Same.
Who said she was a good actress? I don't
Oh, she was like, she's been nominated for something, doesn't
yeah,
she?
because she's got like $1 trillion, so she paid off.
I mean, that's true. The Oscars are.
There is a fan theory
I
that
didn't
they
even
do
watch the
kind
Oscars
of
this year.
think that Pennywise is part of A Wrinkle in Time because both are from different galaxies. They can shapeshift, mind control, broken hypnosis by love. They seem to speak telepathically. The names Richie Tozier and Beverly Marsh are both in both stories. Other writings of Kings
really?
mention things like the Tesseract and Wrinkle in Time or Tadash and Dark Tower, and the same name stars that give guidance.
When Richie was like, who invited Molly Ringwald into this group?
I'm sorry, who invited Molly Ringwald into the group?
When you said Beverly Marsh, that's what I thought of.
Please don't go, girl.
They're placebo, or they're gazebo.
They're gazebos.
You know what these are? They're gazebos. They're bullshit.
Dude, I cannot tell you. When that first happened in the theater, we were belly laughing so hard. It was like me, Joe, and our friend Billy. Like we were fucking dying. They're gazebos.
Speaking of New Kids on the Block, did you guys get all those. Other than the Please Don't Go Girl?
Step by step.
I don't know. I saw there was the poster on the back of his door.
There was that.
She was.
Didn't he have like stickers on his book or something too?
There was the Please Don't Go Girl. And then when she comes back out of the store to see him, she's like, oh, Ben from Soch. She's like, do you sure that they got the right stuff to fix you up with?
Oh, yeah. She did say that. Little slut.
Yeah, Beverly and Ben.
I know, right?
She sort of had like this superiority complex, but when she was under the watch of her dad, like she just kind of like broke because, I mean, he was an abusive father, but I think that kind of hardens her to her peers where she feels like she might be above it. Like anything that they can do to her, she's already been through worse. Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things I didn't like about the movie is they kind of made it up to me a little bit. I did not like the fact that they changed it from the 50s to 1989. I did not like that at all.
Well, it was supposed to be the original one. Wasn't it 86 when
No.
the kids were around?
No.
I thought it was like 86 or 87 because it was only like 2 or 3 years off.
No, it was
whatever you
like
wanna call it.
1950s or 1960s.
Yeah. It was a while.
Yeah.
I thought
Considering
it
it came out in 1990, they're not going to make it
Yeah.
seem like it's 20.
they do that all the time. They put things in the future.
That's true.
But anyway, the way they made it up to me, and John mentioned it earlier, was with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like the soundtrack for the movie
love
was
the score.
fantastic.
I love the score, I love the soundtrack.
See, I don't pay attention to that. Like, I don't know if that's a good thing. That it's just I don't.
I think that's a good thing though.
I think it is a good
Yeah.
thing because
If
it
you're not
doesn't
paying attention,
distract
yeah.
you from the movie.
Sound carries the movie. And if
I love scores. Like I'll listen to them like in my car or like when I'm cleaning or something. Like I'm a weirdo that does that.
if a movie is void of like music that carried the scene and it is kind of like something's missing.
Well, it's almost like I don't even remember music being in the scene. So that's why I'm like, is that
No, I feel like it's good because I mean, if you like the scene, I think the music helped you like
just
that
blends
scene.
in?
Yeah. Like I was noticing it when
1960 to 1990.
that's 30 years. I noticed the score when Billy went up to the house. Like that score was like intense right there.
His own house or the house at the end?
The house at the
Pennywise.
end.
The well
Yeah,
house.
the well house.
On Neilbold?
So, speaking of that, while we're on that subject, whenever I get done watching a movie, I like to go on YouTube and look up filming locations for these movies because it's especially older ones.
It was all done in Canada, by the way.
It's
for those
cool
who
to
don't know.
see.
There's, I think, a few in Maine.
It's cool to
Bangor.
see
Bangor,
how
Maine.
That's where it's
Bangor.
modeled after.
the area's changed over the years, like something from the 80s that they're visiting now, and just and then they do the side by side comparisons. So I was looking up the filming locations for it, and 2 stories with that. One, they found the house where Georgie got pulled into the sewer, and the old lady and the cat were at.
That old lady's a fucking idiot. By the way.
Yeah, she is. She didn't report anything. She could have,
Yeah.
They went there and they said they seen where the sewer was at. It was like re-cemented, like it was newer cement. And there's like, but we noticed that there was an older sewer like 10 feet away. So they talked to somebody, one of the neighbors that was there, and they said that they cut and put a drain there for the movie for Bill to go into for the scene. So he was actually in the sewers. So I thought that was kind of cool that they actually, just so that I think it was for the angle, because where the other one was, it wouldn't have matched up with the shots they needed to get. But
I know that was one of the more expensive scenes, and it was like I thought they did that on a set.
Well, I'm sure they did both practical and on a set on a sound stage. But the other thing is, there's a guy that's his YouTube channel is called Scott on Tape, and he does a lot of traveling. He's a vlogger and stuff, and he does a lot of filming locations. He did something very cool with this movie, and I recommend people go to watch it. He's done a couple location things for the It movie, but he did one with the girl who the lot that they built the house on, the house Pennywise was in. She lived in the house right next door to it. She took pictures from day one, from when they put the fence up to it being completed to when they were filming and stuff like that. And she has a book that she put together. It's really cool to see the pictures and the process of how this house was constructed. And then the stories she was telling about how she got to hang out with all the kids that were in the cast because they were pretty much her age, and that she basically, her and her dad that lived in the house, they became set people for it because they lived right there, and they had to kick them out of the house and they put them up in a hotel for a few days because they needed their house to look abandoned for when they're filming. But it's really cool. Scott on Tape, I would look it up. But one thing that she said in it too, which was kind of, because you've seen in the pictures, it showed the cast of kids on the bikes. And then it showed these other kids on bikes that were their stunt doubles or their doubles. She said that the kids can't work more than 2 hours a day.
Jeez.
So they had to get all the stuff, their dialogue.
A day? No.
Yeah.
That's not true. One of the kids was saying that they worked about like 13, 14 hours.
No. She said by the law was that these kids could only work like 2 hours a day legally.
We got child labor laws now? Since when?
Staff, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting because I always
remember they were in Canada.
Oh.
Hey. So, but anyways, that was, since we were talking about it, I thought that was a good time to throw in that little thingamajigger.
I did. For me, when I first saw this in theaters, I really love that soft opening. Like everything is kind of like screening down, and you got the rain, you get a introduction to Bill and Georgie and like their relationship and how they do love each other. But you got Bill tearing out the thick paper, the hard manila texture of things to come, every fold and crease so intentional. Bill is folding his boat like it's the last one he'll ever make. It shows that the love and care he has for his kid brother. It's so sad. It's beautiful. But with that, I mean, after when Georgie goes outside and he's chasing the boat, and it's like he ducks under the first caution, but he doesn't see the second one. And
I was not expecting that whatsoever.
But
was that a jump scare for you?
It kind of startled me, yeah.
This movie did fuck me up for a while because it's like the emotion that kind of how you were saying, and I did watch Black Phone not too long ago. I was like, that was
a great movie.
Or the little girl getting beat by her dad or something like that. But for this movie, anyways, Georgie, what's his name? He's got a 3-namer. Jason Scott Lee. No, that's not it. Yeah, Taylor Scott. Anyways, the actor who played Georgie, he was
actually 45 years old.
He looked so like innocent, and like he was very comfortable with his character, but him like reaching down and like getting snagged and then his arm bit off, and like he cried that he shrieked, and he's like, no, I'm trying to crawl away. I'm like, and I was probably with my infant daughter at the time in the theater. We were trying to
the one who loves.
Yeah, the one that
not that one. She wasn't born yet. Oh. She was born a year later.
Jackson Robert Scott.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you. But yeah, no, this movie fucked me up for a while. That scene alone stuck in my mind for like a good month or so. It's like, man, I know it's a movie, but like shit like that.
Yeah, like a little
shit
kid
like that happens all the time.
Really?
No.
The kids get their arms bit off.
Well, I mean,
I was laughing at that opening scene, how it showed like a close up of the cat when like shit was going down. It's just like the cat could really show like emotion.
Well, it did look scared, and as a predator itself,
cats always look scared.
The cat looks confused. It's like they either look like a bitch or scared. That's what
like it didn't want to get wet because if they get wet, they multiply. And
what?
Yeah,
that's a whole new movie.
That's a different movie.
Like, and I can understand that scene, and it's one of those. You really have to read the book to understand why she was so aloof and why the people in the car were so aloof. And like
the old lady?
The old lady, yeah. And why like some of the people don't really
Like the car driving by when Ben's getting beat up or whatever.
And it's all
kind of a poison.
It's all Pennywise's effect on the town and his ability.
Well, I mean, the dad doesn't even see the blood when you know
he was just drunk.
Maybe.
Well, all of them they don't.
That's a lot of blood. That would have been the worst thing to clean up.
Yeah,
he walks in, doesn't see it, and fucking slips.
I'm sorry, but if you guys ever like said, "Come here," and like you took me to your house and your bathroom was full of blood, you think my ass is going to be helping you clean that shit up? Go fuck yourself.
No.
And
they didn't even clean it all up.
But they liked the girl.
They left a drop
they all
right in the center.
That's why there was an orgy. It wasn't because they needed to kill Penny.
Well, Richie just stood outside for 4 hours or whatever it was. He's like, "Did you guys take long enough? You guys took longer than my penis." Well, that wasn't very long. I love Richie. I think he was one of my favorite characters in this whole movie because I relate to him so much.
If you look at pictures of him now, he's grown up so much. He's one of those kids
he's in Ghostbusters.
I feel like he like one day he was this tiny little kid, and then like overnight he grew like 2 foot.
I mean, that's what happens.
I don't know.
You get those growth spurts. I like him. He's a pretty good actor too. Like he's not like he's not Christian Bale or something, but
right.
Not yet, anyways.
I've enjoyed him in what I've seen him in. Like I've seen him in it. I've seen him in Stranger Things. I've seen him in Ghostbusters.
Like he looks like a weird kid right now, but he's going to grow into his own, and he's going to be the next Christian Bale and be the next Batman and stuff. Watch this. Mark my words right now. We're going to review that movie.
Or he's going to just keep growing and get ganglier and more Jufro, and he's going to be lost.
Like the kid from the new guy?
Like Daniel Sexbang from
What is that kid's
Sex
name?
Party.
Or the new kid.
I mean, remember when everyone thought Macaulay Culkin was an attractive little cute kid? Now he's a fucking...
I still think he is.
Thank you.
He's playing a character.
Is that Rory Culkin?
Bam.
Rory Culkin's in Scream 4, and I almost sent you a video of me going, "Is that Rory Culkin?" It's an inside joke.
Paper boat.
The SS Georgie.
Yes, the SS Georgie, which is also an actual...
He was like genuinely upset when that went down the series. Like,
No, Bob, Bill's gonna kill me.
I did like that. The Bill's going to kill me. So when he loses the boat, you hear him say that. And then Penny says, "Bill's going to kill you."
Without your boat, you don't want to lose it, Georgie. Bill's gonna kill you.
And then at the very end, Bill shoots Georgie, the appearance of Pennywise with the bolt gun, seemingly killing him. So it kind of has like a bit of a wraparound. It does that a few times. But going back to the paper boat. So the paper boat, it's a symbol of childhood innocence and fear. And for Georgie, it's his trust in his big brother. And for Bill, it's a loss of his brother and the guilt he lives with. So when he sees the paper boat, I think he ends up with it in the second one, I want to say.
Thanks, fucker.
You're welcome. All the kids, they sort of, like I've mentioned earlier, they kind of have their own little traumas. Beverly has the abusive father.
Ben's fat.
Ben is a big guy. Eddie also has an abusive mother on a different extreme.
She doesn't have an abusive.
It is
not an abusive mother, but it's more like
it's Munchausen's. Yeah. It's by proxy. It is abuse.
She's
though.
been giving him gazebos.
These are bullshit.
But like that's what people do when they're in like Munchausen. Like they haven't received the love that they've wanted or seeked for. So they take it out, or at least try to.
Eddie cracks me up. Man.
Overtly,
He's the perfect casting.
Yeah, he's great.
They try to overtly like make somebody need them. That way they feel loved or so. And it's very ass backwards, but yeah.
What's Stan's problem?
Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the character of Mike was an afterthought.
No,
I don't feel like he really had that big part. Like
he was supposed to be a loner.
Killed the bully, but
His story arc is developed.
No, he fucked up the bully.
He didn't kill the bully.
His story arc is
Well,
more.
no, the fall killed the bully.
Yeah.
He didn't die.
I want to hear what Lonnie has to say.
His
Shut
story,
the fuck up.
his story arc is more developed in chapter 2. Like everything
Yes,
really
yes.
doesn't resolve in 1 is way more developed in part 2.
I know nothing about him except he
He's
was
black.
hesitant to shoot.
I do love that first time we see him and like the hands are coming out of the door. Like his like I love that whole
Parents'
scene right there.
hands. It's supposed to be his parents and the people who were in the apartment or house or whatever that burned alive.
That's
parents' hands
another
melted
thing
to the
that's
bone.
like almost a chapter of the book is dedicated to that. And it's like a quick blurb in the movie. They just kind of mention about the black spot. But there's like a whole chapter about that, like Mike's, not origin story, but about him that describes that. And just little things that he threw in there.
You're not wrong, though, Jeremy. They don't really hash him out at all.
Because he's such a vital part of
Part two.
Like, he sticks around in Derry, and that's something we know about from the miniseries. They just go way more into detail with it.
Him and Ben both are sort of the outsiders or the new guys, and they both kind of like delve a little bit further deeper into like the history. He was gifted, or I guess left with a book that his parents had that kind of told the story of like the Derry clown and all that, and Pennywise, and Ben was just getting the history of everything. Since Mike stayed, he contained his memories, and the further you get, you forget everything.
So one thing I want to say to Ben, when he's in the library and that headless creature's
the kid
running after him,
the egg collector.
That was pretty creepy.
That was super creepy.
The movements of the headless kid running was like, oh my God, like that. Again, a CGI effect that actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
There was another scene like a little bit prior to that where the librarian gives him the book.
Yeah, and she's just looking
it was one of those
creepy.
background things that really didn't notice that
There's
you
a
weren't
few
looking for. You
things in
wouldn't
the
see it.
background that
There's
is
so
happening
many
like
things
that,
in that movie, where he's just looking through the book, and every time it flashes to a POV of him,
she's like closer
over
and
his
creepier.
shoulder, just kind of like takes a step forward and staring at the camera.
Yeah, it's super
she's
creepy.
blurry and you really can't see her, but you can like
I
kind
noticed
of make out
the
her
second time I
staring and
watched it on a
smiling.
normal TV, like being in a huge theater. I didn't really notice it too much, but
So I noticed it the first time I saw him. I was like, that was one of the first sinister things I saw, and she's like just grimacing.
Yeah.
And she's so far, and then next thing she's a little bit closer, and you can see her like head down, staring, smiling. It's just those little things, and it had so many of those where it's just, like I said before, like it's such a presence in the city that it's like basically infected everything.
I hate that I'm saying this, but I'll have to watch it again.
Well, I was gonna try to find it for you.
Also in the library, that is the first time that we see a red balloon, which symbolizes the presence of Pennywise. It kind of like led him to the burning eggs. So Ben, like I said, was going through all the history, trying to figure things out since he didn't really have any friends, and saw this whole Easter egg sort of an explosion that killed a lot of people. You get to see a picture of all these kids cradling Easter eggs. And if you look at that picture in the back left, you see Pennywise kind of an emotion or so. And there's one kid looking at him, and she's facing her back against the camera. That was pretty, that same boy, as when he's turning the pages, you see the head stuck in the tree. And then when he goes down to the basement, you see the headless kid chase him. But the movements, the jangly walk, I love that. Yeah.
I'm going to, before you go on to your note 3 of 100.
88.
This is just kind of like in the realm of remakes. Since we're all in the filmmaking industry, if we could pick one horror film out there to remake with Shorty Films, what would it be?
Didn't we already say that?
I don't think we did. I think
we did just normal
regular movies?
films. Because I said Hatari. And
Well, we already answered that. He said, what was the movie we watched? Neon Maniacs.
Yeah.
You caught me.
I don't know. Mine keeps producing sequels, so I don't really need a remake right now.
Good question.
I mean, you can
have to
hate
think
it all
about
you
that.
want. I love it. I don't really care if you hate it or not.
With practical effects, I mean, I don't want to do like a puppet or doll type of thing like Gremlins or Chucky or anything. I think some sort of creature feature that isn't as exposed.
Open water, but the water's only 2 foot deep.
That movie is fucking ass.
Made me so sick.
All right, we'll go back to the book that he's reading, A History of Old Derry. So the 1908 explosion tells of 88 children killed in the Easter egg hunt. I don't think this is really Nazi jargon that it's saying in the book, but in the Nazi jargon, 88 means Heil Hitler. So it
Isn't that how many notes you have, you said?
Yes,
Wow.
that is. Don't look at me like that. So 8 is the 8th letter, or H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So 88 also symbol looks like an H. So HH.
Why do you just have a Charlie Chaplin mustache, Justin?
I'm trying something different.
Oh,
I got Invisalign.
put your hands down.
When was the library scene?
It's like 20 minutes in.
Yeah. It's pretty much like, yeah.
I'm not finding it there. Oh, I think I got it actually.
Did you know that this movie was inspired by the Three Billy Goats? The nursery rhyme?
I'm exactly
so
on
this movie never would have been made if Stephen King didn't have car issues. Like his whole, I think it was his transmission went out or just fell out. And he
just fell out.
Yeah. And he took it to the garage or some shop or whatever. And he had to take a long walk. So while he was taking this walk, he was kind of like in his own mind. He had to cross this bridge. And it's kind of the story of the three Billy Goats trying to cross the bridge, but the troll's underneath. And that is kind of the impetus, whatever. That's kind of like the seed that he put into this movie. Where he's like, well, what happens if there was like a troll under the bridge? And what if it's not a troll? What if it's something else that kind of scares people? And if they're not goats, they're children. So there is a troll, clown, Pennywise entity underneath the town of Derry. And that kind of like lays the foundation, kind of what Lonnie was saying. So the canals is kind of very important, like everything that leads to water. The water is kind of like being poisoned. Every time he wakes and makes his or tries to go out to feed his hunger, the town is kind of like blinded and in a trance or does not notice things, whereas he is free to roam or feed, well, when he's not being cornered. Thank you.
And it's interesting, like the way the book starts is the way chapter 2 starts. Like, so they kind of flip-flopped it there, but making a cohesive story, they kind of have to start young to old. The book jumps around so much, but it's easier because you have the source material in front of your face. If they tried to do that movie-wise, I can see it being
I think that would be a cluster.
Very jumbled, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of what we were saying earlier. So Henry carves the H, the Heil, into Ben's tummy.
That was a reach.
With a stiletto, by the way. My favorite kind of knife.
Nice. And
Stiletto
footwear.
heels.
Lonnie,
Yeah.
who was a better body? Was it Betty Ripson or Ray Brower?
I think Ripson was better because she was more intact. I think Ray Bauer, we didn't get enough of him.
Yeah. It tells two stories, too, so it's kind of hard to compare. But
well, if you're talking about specifically the body, like the story of the body isn't the body. The story of the body is the journey to the body.
yes.
So if you're just wanting the body itself, then absolutely Ripson's better.
Say body one more time.
Body.
Body. But if
Why do you look at me when you said that?
if you want the journey to find the body, of course, the body, aka Stand By Me, is a better story. But if you want like what's scarier, Betty Ripson. Or
Yeah, we get about 3 tastes of her, if you want to call that. That's probably poor phrasing. Let's not. So Betty Ripson, you see like her mom at the school. She's standing outside while you see like the curfew, 7 p.m. for the dairy curfew. There's also an article of a body found by the canal that's not Betty's, and the boys find a shoe with B. Ripson marked in the sewer. And you also hear a voice coming through the sink that says, "I'm Betty." When it says, "I'm Betty," what's his name? Patrick and the other name, Veronica.
SpongeBob?
Yes.
You also see her when she's hanging.
Patrick!
You also see her when she has no legs
Patrick
hanging in that
Hofstadter.
closet. Not scary at all. Oh, am I not scary enough for you, Billy?
Going back to the beginning, Bill's looking out the window and he tells Georgie to be careful. And windows are kind of like the device for perception. The gloomy, rainy day is kind of like the guilt and fault he pours upon himself. So sad.
I know
Bill's
this
bedroom.
one really choked you up, doesn't it?
Bill's bedroom, like, do you guys, I don't know how, I feel like John's already never really grown out of it. No offense or anything, but I'm like,
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
did you remember like dressing up your, all your posters and your action figures and all that everywhere? And it's like, well, now that I have kids, I don't think you still put your shelves higher, huh? Maybe, or you don't. Have you ever baby-proofed your house?
oh yeah,
I've never.
I have baby gates on literally every door frame.
We've had like katanas on the floor and stuff in my meditation room, and my tatami mats and stuff. But
what the fuck are you getting at with this? What about his room?
His room was cool. I liked it. You got Beetlejuice posters. You got all these other things that were also like.
I like that the theater was playing Batman
and
in Derry
and Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
There was Pennywise himself is pretty much a rendition of Freddy Krueger,
and Batman.
They both feed off the fear of kids. Except for one eats them and one takes enjoyment of killing it. And I think it's more of a sexual thing for
Lethal
Freddy.
Weapon 2. Isn't Lethal Weapon 2 also
Yeah, Lethal Weapon and Batman were playing at the same time.
Was it episode 3 or 4 where we compare Pennywise and Mary Poppins?
Yep. They're the same.
We didn't.
You did.
You did.
Okay, well, yes.
Did I? I
Yeah.
might have. I think we both kind of went over it.
You weren't born yet.
I didn't hatch.
I'm going to jump around too. So at the very end.
Let's hope so.
You know,
You went back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The Blood Oath Pack. Do you remember the Blood Oath Pack at the very end when they cut their hands? I'm like, man, like some of those acting too. I'm like, you're not even, like if you get cut, you're like, fucking shit, mother.
I know half of them were like,
I'm like, Archie, I would have expected him to like curse or something
Well,
like
there
that.
was no blood on the glass after like the 5th kid that they kept.
Like you guys are sharing it?
Although I do like when she kisses Bill, he's got like the blood
stains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I like the foreshadowing of that because it kind of like tells you a little bit more about like the second part. So when you see the group leave, you see Stanley leave first. Then if you know anything about the second one, Stanley is the first to die. And then
kills himself.
Eddie leaves right afterwards. And he also, So they do like this sort of fade, disappear type of thing as the group is kind of moving on. I thought that was kind of a cool and a little bit telling to what's going on. In the book, Richie was scared of the werewolves. And maybe when Pennywise comes out of the fridge and exposes a long werewolf claw, that might have been a nod to that. Also in the miniseries, it was a werewolf.
That was done with a contortionist and a little bit of CGI.
Yeah. Bill Skarsgård actually trained with a contortionist to be in that. And they filmed that backwards because they were having issues filming it, him coming out. So it's like, wouldn't it just be easier to have him position himself into the fridge and then come out? And then they worked it around. So almost everything in that scene where his body is spinning and stuff like that, that's real. No.
Yeah.
His head is the only real place or real placement after all of the spinny stuff, but he still did the movements and then
I thought that was cool though.
Changed things around. So yeah.
Penny for your thought?
No, I was trying to picture the scene when he comes out of the refrigerator?
Yeah, in the well house.
Yeah.
After
it's right when he gets like into it. Oh, gross.
When Eddie drops off and he's got that arm break.
He holds it up and he's like, ah! Even I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that was a pretty good looking broken arm. It was pretty.
It was disgusting.
Convincing.
It wasn't good. It was bad.
It's horrible.
What door would you guys have taken? Not scary, scary,
The
or
scary
very
one.
scary?
The scariest of all.
Yeah.
I've ever said because I figured it's
Well,
probably
either
a
door.
joke.
Well,
I
we're
don't
also
think-
adults and we have like better like we know when someone's trying to trick us at this point. Like
Even still, though, I mean, as they're adults in the second one, they're still scared a little bit. But
well, that's because James McAvoy is a weirdo. I don't know. Fuck off.
okay, fair enough.
He said, "Fuck off."
Oh, you were cereal? No, I don't think it would really matter as long as you went in there in any door with knowing that it's all fake. It wouldn't have mattered.
It's not fake.
It's real to me.
You're fake.
I'm not
The
real enough for you?
adults, all of the adults were watching the Dairy Children Hour. The Dairy Children's
Excuse me?
Hour. That's where they say the word of the day is clown. The word of the day is clown.
Is that where the show's like, kill him, Richie? Kill
Yeah.
him."
And you will too, Henry. Make it a wonderful day. Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
Oh, no! Give him a big round of applause!
It's like it's like Eddie's mom is watching it, and then you
His
kind of
dad got fucked.
yeah. Well,
That knife right through the thing.
I know.
I was like, oh.
need help now. I did like the
Sorry, I like the line. I can't think of exactly how it went, but when his dad
Shoots the ground.
shoots the ground.
Look
and-
at him now. This is something about
It crumbles like a piece of paper.
Yeah, something like that.
I was like, damn, you kind of feel for Henry a little bit in that instance, but
I thought that was one of the more that and what Will said, the grandfather of Mike, I believe that was his name in this.
Yeah.
It's like they had like two of the better lines in this when he was talking about you can be in there or you can be out here like us. One of these days, somebody's going to catch you right between the eyes. And it's like, well, and that did happen. And the person who did that was the other person who got the better line, his dad.
Say it again.
The person who got Mike between the eyes was the kid,
Officer Bowers.
Henry, who also got the line of saying, fuck, what was that? What did you just say? You can crumble, whatever. Yeah. I did like that contrast. There's different extremes. The character extremes I thought was really well written. So you got like the love triangle with Ben, Bill, and Beverly. And then you got like
a lot of bees.
Always serious person with Archie and always not serious with Archie and the always serious with Eddie. And yeah. Archie's always funny. And Eddie's always serious. Richie, sorry.
You've called him Archie at least 4 times, and I was waiting for somebody else to correct him.
Thank you.
But thank you, Lonnie.
I forgot my R's today.
Archie. Rock War!
He thrusts his fists against the post and still insists he sees the ghost. That was the line that Bill was trying to and that was one of the other wraparounds too. So Bill, that's one of his things, one of his phrases he tries to use to try to correct his speech or his stutter or whatever. Like he thrusts his fist against the post or whatever, but he's stuttering through it. And at the very end, you see Pennywise crumbling right before he flips over. And he says the same thing to Bill, or I guess the group of kids, that he thrusts his fist against the post. And
by the way, the actual line is, ain't nothing like a little fear to make a paper man crumble.
That's the one.
Look at them now, boys. Ain't nothing like a little fear to make a paper man crumble.
Did you see that Eddie was wearing a shirt of the killer car?
Christine?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't really pay attention to that.
Here's a few Easter eggs.
Do you even look for Easter eggs anymore?
Jeez, who are you anymore? Yeah.
I was just getting over the fact that I was watching.
That's fair. I mean, I'm not going to criticize you for that.
Did you catch the Easter egg when they all dove in the water?
Yes. Turtle?
Oh, a turtle.
Yes.
Well, he also had the turtle in
the bedroom of Georgie's
bedroom.
So it's like something brushed up against my leg when they were swimming.
Pennywise arch nemesis.
Maturin, the deity of the Macroverse. He's actually the enemy of Pennywise. There's a lot of connection to this and other, like, I mean, this movie, what I really love about Stephen King's writing is he does connect everything into something. Like the kids could be shiners, if you will, because especially when they grow up, they kind of like sense something is going wrong with like, oh my God, like something just, I was just thinking, whatever. Oh.
So the biggest,
and they were in misery.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
The two biggest references in the Stephen King universe to it is the Dark Tower series.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna get the title wrong. It's the JFK one, the 11-252 or whatever.
1142. I thought that was a farmer one. I forget.
No, it's the one where they go back in time and they find Richie and Bev, and they talk about Pennywise, but they don't directly mention him. But yeah, that's another one that they directly mention characters from this story.
With the love triangle, Ben and Beverly, when Ben goes to her house, then they clean up. He kind of takes a step into the room, the bedroom, and he sees the Frog Prince letter, which is also a story about a special kiss returning someone to their original state. And he was the one to kiss her to bring her back. Like the true love kind of breaks the curse. That was cool. That was pretty cool, huh? Man.
Remember when you kissed her and turned her back? That was cool.
So Richie, not Archie, when he finally reveals his fear when they're in the Barrens, is it, or whatever? Right in front of the Paul Bunyan statue. Yeah. There's that creepy clown on stage, also played by Bill Skarsgård. And that one was modeled after John Wayne Gacy. He reveals that he's afraid of clowns there.
Clowns.
Bicycles.
I don't like the way he said it. Clowns.
Bicycles is another common theme. So they are
like Eddie's mom, the town bicycle.
Hi ho, Silver, away!
So the bicycles are
I'm not
symbols
the one
of
imagining your mom's.
childhood freedom and friendship as they allow the Losers Club to escape from their fears and troubles. So Silver being the most prominent of this movie, or movies, since you got chapter 1 and chapter 2, Silver named after the Lone Ranger's horse is a meaning of imagination. That kind of like leads me to a kind of like what the whole movie was based off of. Like it's, well, not based off of, but what it's about, it's pretty much a battle of fear itself, which fear can end up dominating you in whatever path of life it has laid out for you. So imagination can be the seed for the fear. It's what creates the emotion of anxiety because it's often what we don't know that scares us, not necessarily what we do know. So these people don't, or these kids and people, I should say, they don't necessarily know what is frightening them because it changes shape and it's trickery and all that to lead and bait. So, but imagination directed accordingly, it can be the very thing that can defeat it. So evil can flow through anything like water, hence why the canals, sinks, sewers seem to point to it, even water in a trash bag with Beverly. Water is the abundant resource and evil also has no end.
That would suck, by the way, to be in a bathroom stall and have somebody pop open a garbage bag with water and nasty shit.
Bunch of bitches.
Ew.
That bitch.
How many more notes you got, Justin?
Like 64. Patrick, did you know he was supposed to be
fucking serious? You're going to get a water bottle at your head.
Patrick, he was secretly gay in the book, not so much in the movie, other than his flaming tendencies. Then there's the
I was like, who's Patrick? Man?
Yeah, the I Love Dairy balloon, which is also the hat that's worn by the gay dude in the second one. So I think that might have been a hint there.
Patrick Hofstetter.
Yeah, he's one of the voices you hear from the sink. But Stanley, I did like the framing when he goes and puts the book away. So you have like the menorah behind Stanley's head and him putting the Torah on the shelf. It's like he's pushing it off and things are behind him. Then the flutist image falls down. When he returns to hand the image back up, the light over the bookshelf burns out, putting the books in a shadow. And books are supposed to be knowledge. So it's like everything he thinks he knows is not actually what they are. He will find out after he reveals the image. When he lifts the painting, she's not there. And the editing of this, I thought, was magical. They use a flute to incite the fear. And the Crooked Lady is warped, like his perception.
Flautist.
Flutist.
Flautist.
One who makes flautas? I love flautas.
Flautist.
Also, the aspirator. That's another hard image. So Eddie's aspirator is said to contain mostly water. And water, again, if we connect it to be poisoned.
Battery acid.
Yeah. In the town of Derry, Eddie realizes it's just a placebo illuminating knowledge, like a light over books. It can dismantle the fear. And what was once fear can now be used as a weapon. On his respirator, it says use as needed. So Sonia Kasparak is your typical Munchausen mother, lacking of love. So whatever. Anyways, he uses that as battery acid. He uses the imagination to defeat his fear. There was a few Michael Jackson references where he's like, I'm going to light your hair like... Yeah. Also, the
I
pepper...
forgot about that. The Pepsi thing.
Pepsi, yeah.
My hair.
The word fuck is used 60 times in this movie.
60. Did you know Dick?
Nope.
Usually before I go to bed.
The black dude in The Shining. He was telepathically, he spoke with Danny.
Dick Halloran.
Yeah. He survived the fire as the army cook at the club. That was the black spot located in the 1969 fire from the history that Ben was going through. So that kind of connects him to this. We see the same mural.
That Pennywise is in if you look real close.
Yeah. He's underneath the wheel.
Didn't catch
Yeah, I
that.
was talking to and that mural is about it
was a massacre.
Mobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big massacre that took place in Derry in the 1920s.
Yeah. When Beverly is buying the tampons, the postcards and birthday cards are behind her, sort of like the poem on the postcard she gets from Ben. She doesn't know who it was from. It's not obvious or in front of her, so it's kind of no. I think the body placement, I usually find where people are as it is in reference to its subject. So one of my favorite lines is actually around that part too. You know, go get my bifocals. They're in my second fanny pack. Why do you have two fanny packs?
Go get my bifocals. I hid them in my second fanny pack.
Why do you have two fanny packs?
Well, I need a
Or Richie fighting with the trombonist or whatever. I think it was a trombone.
He goes and tries to play it.
I wrote up a few numbers up there. Do you guys see that? So the first two numbers.
Those are the dates of the movies.
Yeah, 9/8/2017 and 9/6/2019 were the days that these were released. And 1,138 pages was how much the novel is. So 9 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1 plus 7 is 27. 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 is 27. 38 minus 11 is 27. Huh?
How do you spend time with your family? Like
sometimes. The movie was released.
Daddy's watching it for the 24th time.
This came
That's
out.
why his daughter's favorite movie is it.
Yeah.
Which
1990
years.
20 years from the original. The miniseries came out in 1990. 2017 is when this came out. Jonathan Brandis, the original Bill, he died at 27. Skarsgård just turned 27 during the making of this. Ben, Bill, and Henry are all 27 years younger than their adult actors from the original. Yeah. 27. What does it mean? Stanley, he was held at high regard because of his position in a oppressive standard, being forced to take on, read the Torah, learn your place, like you are becoming a man and all this. So all this pressure around him and the worldview he was forced into, it doesn't feel real, and he feels like he can never get it right. So he was the last person to truly believe. And even when he was kind of forced, like when he went down there, he's blaming the kids. Like he can't succumb or come to terms, I guess, with it, where, he's like, you guys did this, you led me into evil. And so he ends up taking his life in the second chapter.
Well, and another thing why he takes his life as well is him, Beverly, and I guess Henry were the only three to see the deadlights. Beverly was saved and kind of brought back, but he was saved in the sense of that they just got Pennywise to go away. So he was never technically saved from the deadlights. He had that in him the whole time.
And I think since he was bitten in the face or whatever, looking in the mirror is a constant reminder of this fear. So like he couldn't do anything.
Right.
I think there's also a double meaning of the you'll float too. So floating is as in where he kills them and drags them down to the sewer with the water, but also where he trophies his fairy beneath dairy of floating children.
You'll float too.
Yeah, when Georgie is saying that in the basement, he just keeps repeating it.
Oh yeah, that's creepy as fuck.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. 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 You'll float too.
You know what? My youngest does that. My was 4. Yeah, she's like, you'll float too. You'll float too.
If your child did that, I would fucking mace them.
I was just
like a straight punt kick.
Exactly. I don't care if it's a joke.
No, that basement scene is super fucking creepy to me.
What's scarier, her saying that or when she's laying in bed going, no, Jeremy, no.
Well, scarier.
That's, I still like,
No, Jeremy.
That's weird.
No, Connie-chan.
Oh, there was Edward Corcoran. Pennywise was waving to Mike with Edward's
arm.
hand.
Johnny Cochran.
So fucking funny. The first time I
What was
seen
our
that.
BPT rating?
8.5.
Yeah, that's a 80. Critics gave this an 86, and viewers gave it an 84. So
just did the
At least he knows where that one is, and it wasn't like a wah 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 or something. No, I just thought that was cool that like our rating was like dead on. Like this is one of those movies where critics and viewers actually like agree.
Yeah, And our rating was 8.5.
Yeah. So when they actually go back to the house, Henry's parked out there, and like I feel like that his car is something that they're always on the lookout for. Because he's always bullying them. And stuff.
Would be too,
it was right there off to the side on the street. And it's like, how do you not see that? You guys are breaking bottles and looking for weapons and shit out there.
With him sitting in it, staring right at them.
The actress Molly Atkinson.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look. Oh, that's the part he died.
I find it kind of interesting that she played both of Eddie's mom and his wife. But then again, people who are kind of, if you want to say abused, with Munchausen or whatever, if you are like sheltered, you tend to look for characters or qualities that your mom has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you kind of want to fuck your mom. That's kind of like very
That's an
Jungian.
audio bite.
It's Freudian, I guess. Is it Jungian? Freudian? It's Freudian, I think it is, yeah. Everyone wants to bang his mom. I don't want to bang
That's
any of my
not
moms.
true. I just want to bang Jeremy's mom.
I like that.
I could feel his beard growing to attack me.
So I
Now,
know what I'm
Jamie,
doing for
on
my
the-
summer experience essay.
Jeremy's gonna stab me immediately.
Pennywise has at least 4 minutes of dialogue.
Only
He's
4
gruesome.
minutes.
Yeah.
I did like at the beginning when he's talking to Georgie how like the rain was running down his face and the spit out of his mouth off his chin.
Pop,
Yeah.
Especially when he had to do the peas, like pop in the
Yeah.
popcorn.
He wasn't intentionally doing that because of the teeth that he had in his mouth. That was kind of making him drool. But Andrew Marchetti, or whatever the director's name,
Andy Milonakis.
he not Milanakis, it's Manchietti or something.
Yeah,
like
I know. I'm just
yeah. But he's like, I like that. Like, we'll keep rolling with that.
You don't look dumb at all. We'll run with it.
Did you know Hugo Weaving was supposed to be
that was one
first-
of the.
yeah.
Well, there was a couple different guys.
Mr. Anderson?
the bad guy in Captain America 2 or Captain America 1. I mean,
He was also the Agent Smith in the Matrix series.
you'd know if you Googled his
Also
face.
in Lord of the... No, you wouldn't have known.
But
Lord of the Rings.
Skarsgård was actually the fourth person.
Yeah.
They actually offered it to Tim Curry in the early stages of development, but he didn't want to reprise that specifically.
Well, who did you say the first guy was?
Hugo Weaving.
It was down to Hugo Weaving. I forget the other guy's name.
I do too. I had
Oh,
it
really?
earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
He actually probably would have been way better.
There was another really cool... So when Eddie is running from the
Pussy.
leper...
The leopard's really good. That's a mask that has like a removable eye. Yeah, no.
One second.
I-
So when Eddie meets the leper, in the end, it reveals like Pennywise standing in the field with the balloons. So it's kind of like a large set of red balloons in the shape of an upside down triangle. And a negative representation of an upside down triangle can mean nightmares, harm, or a bad energy around the homes or surroundings. So if we want to reuse the Nazi meaning, upside down red triangles identified political prisoners for oppression, persecution, and genocide. Also, when he's sitting at the foot of his car, kind of sulking after his dad just kind of scolded him, he's sitting in front of it, kind of, not in the driver's seat. Like he's not driving this whole thing. His car is a Pontiac, which the symbol of a Pontiac is an upside down red red triangle.
How would you know if a circle's upside down?
Oh, I
Give
would
it to
know.
Justin.
But yeah, that's when he retrieves a lost knife from the woods in
By
the
the way,
package.
I'm watching the scene. I do not see Henry's car.
It's the blue car.
I don't see it.
He's sitting in it
Right there.
in his red shirt.
Hold on.
And he's like,
They're still progressing.
So you
now
know-
I see it. Now I see it.
So
They
those
just went to it.
those balloons that were in the shape of an upside down triangle. I thought that was CGI. That was practical.
it was CGI and practical. The first few balloons were real, and then they added more.
I like the part. Which part? When Eddie
In the-
first sees them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's practical.
No, they made it. They actually added some.
Well,
some
they
to it.
so they added digital so they could pop them. I thought.
All I know is I
whatever.
saw a picture and there was a crew member
I just
by them and it
He's
showed
got that
showed
arm.
them all. Yeah,
waves to it. There's a gif of like
Forrest Gump.
yeah, Forrest Gump
Yeah.
doing that. Oh no!
Lonnie, I think you might know
Go
this
home,
one
wrap
or
it
like
up.
this one.
Yeah.
So during the rock fight, the song that's playing is an Anthrax song.
Yes,
Yes. It's
most
the-
of Anthrax songs
See,
are by Stephen King
that-
or inspired by Stephen King.
That was one time I didn't notice music being played and I didn't think it fit at all. I think it was
Anthrax has like lots of songs that are kind of based around Stephen King's writings.
Just said that.
Yeah. So this song was called Among the Living, which is also kind of based off of The Stand.
And I
but
saw them
doesn't
in
Anthrax
concert.
normally have songs about Stephen King?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing
Fun
here?
of you, you fuck. We need to wrap it up. We have another episode.
This
to
is
I
do.
know, and it's probably going to be like 8,000 hours.
All right, I got 24 more notes, and I will
Nope.
skip every single one of those.
Don't give in to peer pressure.
No,
this
give
is
it-
your show.
No, actually, technically, it was his
Yeah.
episode.
Don't give in.
Only thing I got to do is the intro, and then Justin took over.
Bill got
I got two of my Twitch
got
drops,
stood up
by
by
the way,
Bev.
Lonnie.
Well, he didn't really get stood up because Pennywise took her, and then he went to go cross that same silo that Ben created when he dropped it as his little school project there, the replica. that was a throwback to something. It wasn't really. It was just a little fact or something like that. Nothing needs to be said. But I did like Beverly's push
anyway.
for the. I thought the device, if you will. So as they're fighting each other after the first interaction with him, and she's like, he wants to divide us, and as they were kind of being divided, and it's like, well, fuck yeah, like nobody else is thinking of that. And
does Bill have a stutter in the book?
Yes.
Does it read that way?
No.
That's
why it's 1,000 and some pages.
Right? No shit. Jesus Christ.
There's so much cool stuff. There's so much cool stuff in the book, though, that I think would have translated amazingly to.
They probably. I mean, they said they filmed a shitload more. I haven't seen the director's cut yet.
Isn't there in the book? Doesn't she like have an orgy with all of the boys?
She does.
At the very end to keep them connected.
Is that what you were missing? Would have upped your vote?
Because I was going to say the scene where they're all in their like underwear and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't understand how a director can feel comfortable on set directing kids in their tighty whities in water.
Well, what's his name? Kerry Fujinawa or whatever. He changed a lot of the stuff, and then when Andy got on board, he changed a lot of the stuff back, except for like 2 names or so. And then there was no orgy, I want to say, to begin with, in the screening or the
I wouldn't
title.
I think your production would get shut down.
I did like after Bill kills his brother Georgie, or at least the imitation.
You're not real.
The quick change routine that Pennywise does. I was like, whoa.
Like,
nice.
that's how I feel Moxley has been growing the last couple of days. Like, he just wakes up.
And then he like sits up and I like the movements of most of the creatures. Like you said with the library, the headless thing going on. And
that was like the reverse Michael Jackson.
Right. Yeah.
There was another Michael Jackson reference in that. When they go to Ben's house and he's like, there's like a man with a roller coaster in his house and a chimp and skeleton bones. And that was in reference to like Neverland.
Oh, yeah. I heard he has like a roller coaster and like a pet chimp and like an old guy's fucking bones. Yeah.
So you've seen it in theater, obviously.
Yes.
John, you've seen it in theater. So I was managing the AMC theater when this came out, and my office was right by IMAX.
Oh, no.
And when the scene came on where the fireworks go off and he's doing his little dance for Beverly Underground, the boom, 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 when that would go off in IMAX, like everything in the office would start rattling. And I had to listen to that shit 5 times a day. If I had fillings, it would have knocked that shit out.
Yeah, why are you on your computer? I thought you were skipping all these notes.
Yeah. But I was told not to, so I'm not going to. So anyways, the kids,
are you fucking kidding me?
I like how they hold on to their totems because it's like a source of their traumas, or they had some sort of great significance to their childhood.
They got rid of the orgy, remember? They weren't holding on to their totems.
Not that one. Yes.
Beverly was holding on to all their totems with it.
With her mouth.
High five.
Are you ready for the gun?
All right. The last
tidbit.
Original, it came out in 1990, which is the year Skarsgård was born. Thank you, guys.
That's all I got.
God. Guck. All right.
I'll skip the last 15. Go.
What? Let's go around. What would we change? We'll start with John.
I'd throw an orgy in there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change too much about it. Like I said, I mean, I gave it a 9, so I mean, there's not a lot I would change. I'd make it. There were some scenes that I think went a little longer than they probably should have. I do kind of agree with Pennywise's voice, but other than that, I mean, I wouldn't change much about it.
Justin?
A few CGI things. Like, again, I didn't really care for Stanley being edited in, although I'm pretty sure there was like it's around the rock throw fight and right before they go into the house, like he's obviously not there. He's
what did we just say? What was the reasoning behind that?
I want to say there might have been a scheduling issue or something like that, and he had to probably make something up.
Maybe he's the one that can only work 2 hours a day, or
possibly.
Whatever. Maybe he was younger than the other ones. I don't know.
Jula.
I'll have to look into that.
But yeah, it was. I'm kind of like I do like this version, the costume wise, but it's still kind of slowly growing more on me. Like, again, the pleading, I didn't really care for that. But like, if he's old and coming back every 27 years, I mean,
I feel like,
that's probably a staple of like when he took this form. It's like clowns are the thing now. And like being a jester is also another archetypal, like playing the fool. And it's usually the fool's job to question higher things or make the threats without any retribution to them. It's like anybody else would have got their head chopped off. And yeah, I don't know. Like it's just very small things, CGI. And I'm glad that they came out. If there was no number 2, they would have needed another number 2.
Well, yeah.
Maybe some character choices. I think for the most part, their actor choices was spot on. But there was a couple I think could have been interchangeable.
What's her name? Like Tracy or whoever the chick is who was the bully, but is also the daughter of the Clark Kent.
Yeah, the drugstore owner.
Yeah. Who was Stephen King in the original?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of those.
To see Stephen King, you have to watch chapter 2.
Yep. But yeah. My biggest gripe about the movie was that it was set in the 80s and not the 60s.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. It's whatever.
They had Street Fighter.
Yeah. Like I said,
had New Kids on the Block.
Product of the time. Yeah.
I would definitely have a different actor as Pennywise. Did not like Bill Skarsgård.
Kevin Bacon.
You want Hugo Weaving?
He would have been better. Bill Cosby would have been better.
The other guy. He was
You'll float too. You want to float too?
What's the other? It's a British actor.
We'll keep rolling.
Jennifer Aniston. The
What?
parents.
She's not British.
What are we having?
Well, actually, Tilda Swinton was
Why are
actually
you
up for
yelling at
this.
me? Oh, I could see her.
She was going to be up
As
for
Pennywise?
What's happening?
I could see her as Pennywise, honestly.
What did you say? All of a sudden,
Tilda
we're talking
Swinton, the
actress.
actress from you've seen the Endgame and Infinity War, right? She's
Yeah.
the one from Doctor Strange, the bald chick.
Yeah.
The alien
one.
from
The alien from the Dead
Don't Die.
Oh,
What about her?
She was supposed to be Pennywise. She not necessarily supposed to. She was trying out for it.
Oh.
Johnny Depp tried out for it. There was a whole bunch
better.
of people who were
He would
kind of
have been
rumored
better.
of it.
I don't know. Johnny Depp would have just been the same.
Hugged everybody.
I would have loved to seen Bill Murray as Pennywise.
Bill Skarsgård says something about the kids here. He's like, they're just little professionals. You know?
Yeah,
It's like they
because
weren't-
he was like all up in Eddie's face in one scene. He's like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I loved how you're doing this character."
I do want to make a note of one more thing. So The Cure, which was playing around like their cleanup scene, the fucking lyrics to this, this is stranger than I thought, 6 different ways inside my heart, and every one I'll keep tonight, 6 different ways to go deep inside. I'll tell them
Nice.
anything at all.
Oh.
I know I'll give them more and more. I'll tell them anything at all. I know it continues, but since it was the 6 of them at the time, like I thought that was kind of perfect and everything was strange and all, like it was fitting for the part. Anytime The Cure is playing, I mean, I love The Cure. The Cure is amazing.
Hell yeah. It's one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to and see them here.
They're supposed to be touring right now or soon, but except for like 2 states because of their Ticketmaster laws and stuff, it's scalping and all that. But yeah, so John I think would be Archie. Jeremy I think would be Eddie.
I don't think John would be Archie still. I think
I think he'd be
Richie.
Sorry, Richie. Thank you. I have it down as Archie.
Who's playing Veronica?
Yeah.
There is a Veronica. It says Veronica when she's yelling up the. I might be Ben. I don't know.
Might be Ben.
I might be Ben.
You are the. Well,
I am
you're
the
not-
biggest.
No, you're not anymore.
I think you're the sheep that got shot in the head.
No.
Oh.
No. Terrible.
You're the.
I don't even think he knew what that one was. He just
I
hit
didn't.
a button at
So
that
you got John is Richie.
Archie Richie.
Yeah. Both of them.
That's it. You're just.
And I don't.
John's the only one. John, you're.
I can relate to Richie
you're
so
Richie.
much
That's
though.
it.
With
Jeremy's
like
more
every
of an
comment.
Eddie since he's allergic to the fucking trees.
Allergic to everything. You're
I-
more. You're
I
Mike.
don't know, I
You're the
can't-
you're the blackest out of all of us. So you're
This
definitely
is probably
Mike.
true. Yeah. And I be slanging.
Go blow your dad, you mullet wearing asshole.
I did know a guy who reminded me of Patrick. There was a guy I used to. He reminded me of Evil Ernie, and
about
Patrick
that
looks like that was a good one too.
Terry started as a beaver trapping camp. Still is. Am I right, boys?
Can only virgins see that?
All right.
sorry,
so that
who
was
invited Molly Ringwald
that
to
was
this group?
the BPT's review of 2017's It, which got a BPT rating of 8.5. So is it Justin?
It got an 8.5.
Who's got
I
the
think
next
it's
pick?
Lonnie.
Is it Lonnie?
Be me.
Oh, here we go. Buckle
no.
up. It's gonna be a bumpy one.
Motherfucker.
Damn, we had 2 8s. Now we're going right back down. Sick.
So for next week,
Sick.
I have chose
Next month.
next episode
Next movie
for
review
our
episode.
30th anniversary episode. We are going to watch 1990s Jacob's Ladder.
You know, so Stephen King is the person we've reviewed the most on our movie reviews.
Well, that's because he's had 400.
We've done Cat's Eye. We've done It. We've done.
Good job.
What was the other one?
That's it.
No, we've done another one.
No, that was it. We just reviewed it.
We did Cat's Eye and It.
No, we did another one. God damn it.
No, we didn't. We did Cat's Eye and It.
But that's the most that.
Oh, we did Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. Duh.
Duh.
And the other person that we reviewed the most in the top build, so the top 5 people in the movies, our writers, our directors, is Stephen King, Bruce
Apparently
Willis.
I have 17 different ways to watch this.
Bruce
Jacob's
Willis?
Ladder, maybe.
Yeah.
You said Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, yeah.
We've done him twice. It was nice.
I know he's an alpha dog.
Alpha Dog, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Both.
I'm sad I wasn't here for
picks.
the Alpha Dog one. I love that.
But anyway,
Me too, 'cause it
you
should've got
could
a better rating.
definitely take my spot for that one. But anyway, we're going to be watching 1990s Jacob's Ladder. It's a great horror thriller directed by Adrian Lynn.
That
It's
poster's terrible.
Macaulay Culkin in it.
Oh, God.
Really?
It's
yeah.
got a
Oh, yeah.
very, very young Macaulay Culkin in it, but it's got
I've never seen it. So this
Tim,
is-
Tim Robbins, Elizabeth Pena, Pruitt Vance. It's a mind fuck of a movie, but it's so fantastic.
Apparently it's on Prime and Paramount.
Yeah, it's not hard to find. There is a remake of it, but the remake
It's not on
is
here.
awesome. Whoever
dumbass.
brought that garbage in here should be shot. But anyway,
It's
that's
good.
what we're going to be watching.
I don't support him, but it's good.
Jeremy, why don't
He
you go
picked
ahead
up a Prime bottle, by the way. For
Go
those
ahead
of
and
you
let
who
us
can't
loose.
Fucking see
Okay,
it.
Fuck, what's going on?
8.5.
All right.
We loved it.
It was a good movie. I will admit when I am wrong, and I should deserve to watch it. But
You
anyways,
deserve a spanking though.
You have to watch the second one. The second one's less.
Suspense.
No,
Quality?
Less year.
loved, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Received.
you guys are you're
not as well
selling it.
not as well received as the second.
You're selling
It's
it
at a
very well.
78.
It ties in a lot of more stuff.
There's more breasts in it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Jessica Chastain has great breasts.
Yummy. Well, I'm all getting all tangled in my chair.
James
so.
McAvoy has
They
great
do 2
breasts.
sexes in there. They do a sex 2 times in there.
Bill Hader.
Awesome.
Bill,
They do a
Hader
sex.
Bill Hader just
Anyways,
tits everywhere.
while these guys talk, I'm going to sign us out. We
Titter.
enjoy every single one of
More
you for
like
listening
it.
to our movie reviews.
right?
Tits McHater.
We encourage you to watch more movies.
Tell us what you thought of It Chapter 1, bitches.
This
yeah.
one's for
Hi,
you.
Brian.
Hi,
We know you're
Brian.
listening. Brian loves Justin's 28-hour rambles.
Thank you.
He's all for it.
It was 50. It was 89. It was 88. Hail hit. Nope.
27. It should have been 27.
Okay, bye.
Close it.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This concludes our broadcast day. Click.